What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some expectations for this upcoming week, what might cause some volatility in the stock price, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi did close 5.72% in the red on Friday. So a lot of fear, and based on a lot of articles that I've seen, it looks as though that fear is going to roll over into this upcoming week. Monday is going to be more of a technical driven day, so not necessarily the best kind of scenario for SoFi. Tuesday, Wednesday, you have a lot of Fed speakers, so that could potentially help soften the level of fear, or again, it could really escalate that. It's a little bit of Russian roulette sometimes. They might be just prematurely starting to talk on raising rates, because I know in the past that's one kind of solution to really kill any inflation. So we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. But Thursday you have GDP, current forecast is 2.3. And then on Friday, you have PCE. So a lot of big data points that could move the market. In addition to that, though, you also have a lot of big companies unveiling their earnings. So we've kind of been in this scenario more so near the end of 2023 and throughout 2024. So the market starts to sell off because of, same thing as right now, inflation and what that potentially might mean, recession, blah, blah, blah. So we've been here many times, and then all it comes down to is a good company unveiling the earnings. I think in the past it's been like Apple and Netflix most frequently. They come out, kick ass on their earnings, give good future guidance, and the market seems to forget all the fear. And then we just go on like our daily activities. That is going to be NVIDIA this week. So a lot of expectations are going to be on it. So they're either going to miss on their future guidance, kind of state that demand is slowing, and that's going to escalate the level of fear, or they could, like I mentioned, what has happened in the past, kick ass on their earnings, and then everyone will forget about everything to do with inflation. So it is definitely going to be a very volatile week, so just kind of anticipate that. But nothing really planned for SoFi for this week, so no fireside chats, nothing like that. So it is going to be a lot of different things, and even its own technicals are going to play a very big part in what happens with SoFi. But I've noticed on social media, I think just retail sentiment is very low, and even based on a lot of my comments, you're starting to see more and more bearish individuals out there. And so I think a lot of people got in around the $6 to $8 range, where it kind of traded within that range for like 6+ months. And so those individuals didn't sell at the peak when it was at like 17, 18. They were anticipating 30, or even on social media you see some people saying it's going to 160. That's what people's expectations are. And yeah, I think they're rather disappointed. So over the last 5 days, it is down 12.39%. And then over the last 1 month, down 15.45. So I think sentiment is just rather low. Shorts haven't really done all that much, in all honesty. Friday, they did increase 426,000 shares. Going into this upcoming week, 11.81% of the free float is being shorted. It does work out to be 127.16 million shares overall are being shorted. I did bring this up sometime last week, I remember, but like, you normally, when I've covered SoFi, and I cover a lot of different channels or stocks and stuff like that, but cost to borrow minimum, very rarely do you ever see that go negative with a stock. Maybe like once every 6 months. SoFi, it used to be like maybe like 2 consecutive days of it, and then we wouldn't see it for another month. Now it seems every single day it is cost to borrow minimum is negative, and even the cost to borrow average is 0.02. So that is very low, meaning that there is multiple different brokers paying people to short SoFi. So I think just big money does really want to bring SoFi down. So I think SoFi is definitely, it's stuck. It has to really continue to hit home, not really. Maybe that's why Anthony hasn't outright said it, but maybe that is why he's been playing it fairly safe. So I complained about this last week on how he's kind of staying within a box, not really risking or being too aggressive on a larger standpoint. Maybe the reason why he wants to do that is to avoid potentially, like in times of a downturn or whatever, like SoFi should do fairly well in comparison to a lot of brick and mortar banks. Maybe it's just because he knows that they are being targeted, because clearly this is just BS if you ask me, but what do I know, right? So again, going into this upcoming week, anticipate shorts to be fairly active and to continue to pounce over the actual fear. But of the options, you see a consensus. The bulls are feeling for it to be roughly around that 16 to 1650, so a fairly nice recovery. Bears on the flip side are anticipating for it to be sub roughly around 14 to 1350. So definitely it is on a key pivot right now. With it at 1467, it is trading between this pivot and this S1, so 1409 will be a strong support. And then 1593 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. So based on this, it is orienting more so towards it to go down. So that's just the overall trend. Even the Elliott wave technicals right now does have a pivot point of 1738. So for as long as it is below that, it is estimated to get between that 1229 and 1321 in the kind of short term. So that's roughly around like a 1 month time period. So let me know your viewpoint on that in the comments below. As far as this, I'll just give you a quick overview. So there was a new rating that came out 4 days ago, and then aside from that 12. So it's been relatively quiet. So don't anticipate any new ratings this week, but you never know. Anything is possible. A lot of these analysts that do come out, so with these sell ratings, so like the $6, $8, $5, a lot of them I do feel are correlated in one way or another with shorts, and they do try to strategically at the worst times reiterate their negative ratings. So you never know, with the level of fear in the market, you could see them lower their ratings. I know that sounds absolutely insane, but we've seen crazier stuff happen with SoFi. But as far as on the actual chart, like I said, Monday is going to be more of a technical driven day. And so in SoFi's case, it's not all that great because right now, going into this week, it is below that 50-day moving average. So that's generally a big thing for Lucid, as well as this super trend right here that is at 1479, so that green line. So if it does break below that, then that means algorithmic trading is really going to work against SoFi. So it's going to be more of a fighting upstream type of scenario. But regardless, that 50-day moving average is sitting at $15.69. So SoFi ideally does need to get above that ASAP. If not, you're going to see more consolidation. 1386 is going to be that also strong support. That's based on the 100-day moving average. And then I'm not even going to be talking about the 200 right now. That's way too far-fetched. But given the pullback that has happened over the last couple of trading days, it did reset stochastic RSI. So that's kind of a good positive if that does make sense, if you want to think of glass half full kind of scenarios. So again, if SoFi does put out some good news, then you could see some corresponding buying causing it to go higher. Or similarly, it might not be coming from SoFi, it could be the broader market. Let's say GDP, PCE come in better than anticipated, or even NVIDIA earnings. So just anticipate a lot of volatility, but let me know your viewpoint on SoFi. Are you buying? Are you selling? Are you doing options? Where do you see things going? And also on a side note, throw your price predictions in the comments below where you feel ultimately SoFi will land by the end of the week. In my opinion, assuming everything goes according to plan, so let's say a lot of the data points come in better than anticipated, NVIDIA earnings also do hit a home run, then I feel like it will just gravitate towards this, close to this pivot point right here. Might not be enough to physically like get above it though, but it should kind of stay close to that range. But at the same time, if NVIDIA earnings do miss, then I can realistically see it closing between this S1 and this S2, so sub that $14 range. So let me know your thoughts on SoFi. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Hopefully everyone has an amazing weekend or had an amazing weekend. And then one final thing, pop over to my Discord, completely free. A lot of good people, a lot of good chat talking about options, stocks, and whatever else floats your boat. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.